Now, I'm sure tennis purists will tell you that technique is everything. Perfect strokes, textbook form, and flawless biomechanics. That's the only way to reach the top, right? I don't think so. Believe it or not, I'd go as far to say perfect technique almost doesn't matter at all in tennis. Now, there's certain things that you must have. Good footwork, hand-eye coordination, the proper grips when you're hitting certain strokes, whether that be a volley, serve, forehand. But other than that, the way you look before you're hitting the ball to after you're hitting the ball doesn't really matter at all. Now, I'm sure if you're a tennis player yourself, you've had coaches that from the moment you pick up the racket drill the importance of technique into you. But here's the thing. Technique alone doesn't win matches. I'm sure if there's club players watching this, or any players that play local tournaments or anything like that, you'll agree that technique doesn't win matches. I mean, we've heard about moonballers, people that slice all the time. There's all different types of categories when it comes to tennis players. Some are more annoying than others, and some work better than others. Technique doesn't win matches. It's about your ability to move the ball, your consistency, and most importantly, your mental toughness. Some of the greatest players in history have had strokes that would make most coaches look the other way. But did that stop them from dominating? Absolutely not. And think of it this way. We love Roger Federer's strokes. We love his game, his serve, his mentality, his ability to stay calm, and his classiness on court. But tennis is not a beauty contest. You don't get extra points for having a prettier stroke or more attractive serve. The only thing that matters is how well you execute under pressure. Now, really quick before we keep going, I just want to ask you all to subscribe. It seems that only 2.3% of you that watch my videos are subscribed. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and maybe the bell notification if you want to keep up to date with all things Hot Take Tennis. What do you think is more important? A technically flawless backhand that crumbles in big moments, or a funky, unorthodox shot that gets the job done? Let's look at some unorthodox forehands. The so-called perfect modern forehand has a windshield wiper motion, strong unit turn, and explosive rotation. But then you have guys like Bernard Tomic who barely swing at the ball, yet his precision makes him deadly. Or Benoit Paire, whose forehand looks more like a slap than a stroke, but can still take time away from the opponents. Granted, his backhand is his much better stroke. And what about Tiafoe? His massive looping, almost baseball-like forehand defies all convention with that extreme Western grip, yet it gives him insane power, spin, and unpredictability. If you put his forehand in a textbook of tennis strokes, it would probably be in the what not to do section. But guess what? He's beaten the best in the world with it.
That's well played.
Another example, Adrian Mannarino. Not only are his strokes a little funky, but that man strings his racket tension at about 33 pounds, depending on the tournament. And his forehand is almost completely arm-driven, lacking the huge windup that modern players use. Yet he controls rallies with placement, timing, and a deceptive lack of pace that throws opponents off. And what about backhands? Medvedev's backhand barely has a follow-through, but his consistency and depth make it one of the most effective in the game.
Oh yes, 2 out of 2 from Medvedev. One on the forehand now, one on the backhand.
And looking back, everybody used to comment on Jim Courier's forearm-heavy compact backhand, but it won him multiple slams. There's other players like Carlos Berlocq, Florian Mayer. These guys had strokes that wouldn't even be taught at a beginner's clinic, yet they had careers that most players could only dream of. The bottom line, if it works, it works.
Oh, fantastic to watch. He's so different, isn't he?
Medvedev once joked that his strokes look ugly, but are extremely effective. And isn't that what matters? It's all about results.
Then when I see myself on videos or photos, I'm like, what am I doing, you know? What am I doing?
Cameron Norrie is another great example. His backhand looks rigid and stiff, but it's one of the most solid shots in his arsenal. He consistently redirects pace and keeps his opponents pinned behind the baseline. And what about the serve? The serve is supposed to be the most repeatable, mechanically sound shot in tennis. Unless you're one of these guys. Nick Kyrgios barely tosses the ball and whips it into the court with insane accuracy, and has one of the best serves of all time. Alexander Dogopolov's serve looks rushed and effortless, yet it generates tremendous pace, especially for a man of his stature. And then, as some of you may know, there's always Brian Battistone, who tosses the ball in one hand, switches his racket to that hand, and then serves as if he's hitting a volleyball serve. I'd say these players prove that technique is only a tool, not a necessity. We also have players like Richard Gasquet, known for his elegant backhand, has one of the most unconventional serves on tour. He tosses the ball way behind him with a short toss and starts in the trophy pose. And then we have the showman, Alexander Bublik, who turns his service games into a circus act, mixing in underarm serves, ridiculous slice serves, and flat bombs. Does it work? Sometimes. So you may be asking, if technique isn't the key to success, what is? Well, it's about moving the ball effectively, finding angles, changing speeds, and keeping your opponent guessing. It's about consistency, being able to hit your shots over and over again under pressure. I'm sure we've all heard the term pusher, and a lot of us probably hate to play pushers at the club level, college level, levels below the pro scene. And I'm sure you've seen pushers in your own tennis world that have the most disgusting strokes you've ever seen in your entire life. But do those people win matches? Think about it. And above all, it's about mental strength. The ability to stay calm, handle adversity, and believe in your own game is what separates the good from the great. Many players with perfect strokes never reach the top because they lack the resilience to fight through tough moments. Tennis isn't about looking pretty. It's about winning. So if your strokes don't look like Federer's, who cares? If you can place the ball where you want, if you can stay solid under pressure, and if you can trust your own style, then you can be an elite player. Forget the perfect technique. Embrace what works for you. But what do you think? How much does technique actually matter? Would you put it at the top of the list of most important things to master to becoming a tennis pro? Or does it take a back burner? And would you focus more on things like mental acuity or ability to generate pace and redirect it? Let me know in the comments below, and look out for more videos here at Hot Take Tennis.